Welcome to my next Madden 23 rebuild, the New Orleans Saints. It is pretty obvious that this team has a ton of talent on it. Alvin Kamara is an X-Factor running back, Michael Thomas is a superstar depth trait, Jarvis Landry is an 84 overall star depth trait, and then you have Chris Olave, the rookie they just took in the first round, who is a hidden depth trait. And over on the defensive side of the ball, you have guys like Cam Jordan and Tyrann Mathieu, who are both X-Factors, and you have Demario Davis and Marshawn Lattimore, who are both superstar depth traits. So this defense also has some talent, just a few spots that can probably get improved. And as always, here are the schemes I will be using in this. I have changed the Saints to a vertical zone run with the Tampa Bay playbook because it gives you the best offensive simulation, and the defensive scheme is 4-3 quarters with the Buffalo playbook. But now all that stuff is out of the way, so let's jump to the end of Season 1 and see where this team stands. And we actually managed to make the playoffs here in Season 1. We get in as a wild card at 8-9. We have the 16th ranked offense in points per game and the 31st ranked defense. How the hell did we get a wildcard spot? Jameis Winston comes in with 5,200 yards, 31 touchdowns, and 16 interceptions. That is the reason you use the Tampa Bay playbook. Otherwise, you probably won't win any games. Running the ball, Alvin Kamara had 1,000 yards and 14 touchdowns. And receiving, Michael Thomas, 1,600 yards, 7 touchdowns. Jarvis Landry with 1,200 yards and 9 touchdowns. But Taysom Hill with 12 touchdown catches at tight end. All right. What about over on defense? What happened there? Demario Davis leads the team in tackles with 124, and sacks Cameron Jordan got 13, and interceptions Marshawn Lattimore led the team with 3. And we do actually take the number 2 seed Buccaneers to overtime, but we lose there 30-24. And Super Bowl 57 goes to the Buffalo Bills, who win 30-21. Von Miller gets Super Bowl MVP, but Josh Allen wins league MVP. I just did a Bills rebuild like the other day, and it seemed like they were still cursed like Madden 22. I guess not. So we have 29 players with their contracts expiring, but we only have $14.5 million in cap. What the hell is going on in New Orleans? So I knew New Orleans was in a pretty bad cap situation, but I didn't know it was this bad. Michael Thomas is a $28 million cap hit, Cameron Jordan's a 25, Marshawn Lattimore's a 22, Ramczyk is a 21.4, Pete is an 18.4, Jameis is 15, Alvin Kamara is 15. He's $25 million in cap hit in the next couple seasons. Alright, Taysom Hill is at 13.9 as a 69 overall tight end. That is awesome, and we can't even really get rid of him because there is a $12 million penalty. You gotta be kidding me, New Orleans. Demario Davis 13.3, Tyrann Mathieu 8.9. Alright, we may not be making many free agent moves these first couple seasons. So this probably isn't going to be popular to any Saints fans watching this, but this is not a team in a good situation right now, and I think I'm going to have to let all of these guys hit free agency. We only have $15 million in cap, and we have some major cap hits coming up. We may have to trade some people and just take the cap penalty this year and just tank this season and try to get a high draft pick. And I've made one trade. Demario Davis, still a superstar depth trait, but we do not have that kind of cap space to keep an older player like that. He's 34 years old. So we traded him and a 5th round pick over to Seattle to get one of their 2 first round picks. I tried to get pick number 3. They were not willing to give that up. So we get pick 18 in the first round now because we don't have a pick in the first round. Philadelphia actually owns that. And I'd been looking for a trade partner for Jameis Winston for a minute. I didn't even realize I was really on Seattle again, but we have now sent them back that 18th overall pick, Jameis Winston, and a 3rd round pick, and now we own the number 3 pick in the draft because I do want a quarterback. There is one in the draft, and the Steelers and the Jaguars pick ahead of us. So as long as their player tags work, we should have the option to get one of the top quarterbacks in the class. And we have done one more trade. Cam Jordan did have a ton of sacks last year, but he is 34 years old. We are building for the future, so he is going to go play for Houston, and we will take a 1st round pick. So now that I've completely gutted this team, let's see what free agents we can actually land. And here are the contracts that I have offered. We're going to try to get Yannick Ngakoue, DJ Chark, Blake Martinez, and Jordan Love. Love is only here just in case that I don't manage to somehow land that quarterback. DJ Chark doesn't sign, but everyone else does. So let's just see if Chark takes it on the second offer, and I clicked the wrong button. Let's see if he goes in the next stage. And DJ Chark has signed with us, so that is our entire free agent class. So let's see who the Steelers take with the number 1 pick. They are going to take defensive tackle Evan Cooper out of Florida State, and the Jaguars will take right in Bo Rubin out of Florida. So now we are free to take our quarterback here with the 3rd pick in the draft, Matthew Hunt. Welcome to New Orleans. You are now our entire franchise. A normal depth trait. That is not good. Well, obviously not landing a hidden depth trait quarterback with the 3rd overall pick is a massive hit to this rebuild. But now with pick 17 here in the 1st round, let's take left end Ben Albert out of Texas, and he will also have a normal depth trait. Alright, will we finally land a hidden depth trait player? I'm looking at center Ken Goldberg out of Clemson, and he will come in with a hidden depth trait at least. So if you've never watched my rebuilds, I only pick the first 3 rounds and then I let the computer do the rest, but we had no 3rd round pick, so now we will take a look at our draft picks. Starting with quarterback Matthew Hunt, he comes in as a 75 overall, not a hidden depth trait, which really does suck. 92 throw power, 81 deep accuracy, 75 medium, 86 short accuracy. Hopefully he can develop into a pretty solid quarterback. We also got a 75 overall left end in the 1st round. He was not a hidden depth trait either though, but our center is a 72 overall hidden depth trait. And then the CPU took a 64 overall running back, a 63 left guard, and a 63 middle linebacker. And here is the starting offense for Season 2. We obviously have quarterback Matthew Hunt starting. Hopefully if he wins like Rookie of the Year, or if he just has a good year, I think he can progress into a star depth trait or maybe even a superstar. That would be awesome. And then over on defense, we definitely look a lot worse. I think this year is probably going to be maybe worse than last year. We went 8-9 last year. This year may be the year for tanking. But let's go ahead and find that out. Will we be worse than 8-9? My guess is yes. And that's about what I figured. We finished Season 2 5-12 as the 27th ranked offense and the 27th ranked defense. Our quarterback does throw for a little over 5,000 yards, 31 touchdowns, and 17 picks. On the ground, Alvin Kamara runs for 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. And receiving, Michael Thomas, 1,300 yards and 8 touchdowns. DJ Chark, 1,100 yards and 11 touchdowns. Chris Olave caught 5. Taysom Hill apparently didn't do much, only 11 catches for 99 yards. Good to know we're paying him like $16 million. And over on defense, Pete Werner led the team in tackles with 138. In sacks, Yannick Ngakoue got 15, and Ben Albert, the rookie, got 14 sacks. All right, maybe he was a decent pick. And in interceptions, Paulson Adebo? Yeah, sure, that's how you say his name. He only got 2, but that led the team. And Super Bowl 58 goes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 21-19. And if you look over there on that list, our rookie left in, Ben Albert, won Rookie of the Year. Okay, this looks a lot better. We have almost $44 million in cap, and we only have 13 players to negotiate with. And I tried to offer a contract to 2 of these guys, Will Lutz and Cesar Ruiz, and neither one wanted to sign, so we're going to let everyone walk again, but this time we have $44 million in cap to work with. And I came in to look at some of these contracts again, and left guard Andres Pete, who was only a 75 overall, would save us about $12 million getting rid of him. He is due $18.4 million. That is a lot for a guard that is not very good. And we are doing a rare interdivisional trade. We are sending him to Atlanta for a 3rd round pick. And I was looking down the salaries to see how much dead cap we'd have to take for getting rid of Taysom Hill, but apparently none, because I believe he retired. And sadly, Matthew Hunt remained a normal depth trait. He's only gone up to a 77 overall. And here in free agency, I have offered 4 contracts to left guard John Runyon, trying to bring back right guard Cesar Ruiz, running back DeAndre Swift. I do have a plan there. Yes, I know I still have Alvin Kamara. And then quarterback, we are offering a contract to Justin Herbert. Yes, I know I just spent a 3rd overall pick on a quarterback, but you all saw he came in as a normal depth trait, only got 2 points better even after throwing 5,000 yards. So if we can land a quarterback like Herbert, I think that immediately makes us contenders. And we land DeAndre Swift and John Runyon. Does not look like we land Cesar Ruiz. And now Herbert is getting a little more expensive. Alright, I have upped our offer a little bit trying to land Justin Herbert. I don't know if we'll be able to, but let's skip to the next stage. And he has signed, and it is not with us. It looks like he decided to go with the Detroit Lions. And another move that is probably not going to be popular with Saints fans, but I am trading Alvin Kamara to the Patriots for their 1st round and 2nd round pick this year. And there are a couple reasons I decided to do that. One, it got rid of some cap space because Kamara was getting paid a lot of money. We still have a solid running back now in DeAndre Swift on a much cheaper contract, and we got 2 draft picks for this draft. And here is the next move I am making. I'm trading Hunt and our 2 1st round picks to Pittsburgh, and hopefully they will take this offer, and they do. So now we own the number 1 pick in the draft. And here's the reason I did that. If we go over here and look in the news, you can scroll down here and see Iowa State Signal Caller is named the best quarterback of 2023. And this is the Iowa State signal caller they are talking about. Taekwon Boley out of Ohio State. A deep accuracy, A short accuracy, A under pressure, and he also has A awareness. I fully believe he will be a much better quarterback than the last guy we took, and with the first pick we take Boley, who does have a hidden dev trait. And now in the second round with pick 21, we're going to take defensive tackle Dion Lowry out of Notre Dame. He has A tackle, C block shedding, and he was the strongest defensive tackle in his class, so we will take him, and he also comes in with a hidden dev trait and 98 strength. And with the fourth pick here in the third round, I'm going to take right guard Brandon Rollins out of Oklahoma State. He will also come in with a hidden dev trait. And this might be a bit of a reach, but left outside linebacker Malik Britton out of Nebraska has C block shedding, A pursuit, and A tackle. He was the fourth fastest linebacker at the combine, or at least left outside linebacker, and the third fastest at his pro day. He is projected as a day 3, so he could be bad, but we're going to take him, and he is also a hidden dev trait. And Taekwon Boley comes in as a 74 overall, so is it a little unrealistic to draft a quarterback in the first round for 2 straight years? Kinda, but the Cardinals did do it, so whatever. But a 74 overall quarterback, a 73 overall defensive tackle, a 73 overall guard, and then the linebacker we took is not that good, a 67 overall. And then the CPU took a 65 overall left tackle, a 66 overall tight end, a 68 overall running back, and a 68 overall wide receiver. And we are making this trade with the New York Giants to get Dawson Knox. We have traded 2 third-round picks and a second-round pick, but now we have a tight end for our rookie quarterback to throw to. And here is the starting offense for Season 3. Obviously, rookie quarterback Taekwon Boley will get the start. Dawson Knox is now our new tight end. And at wide receiver, we have an 88 overall Michael Thomas, an 81 overall Chris Olave, and an 81 overall DJ Chark. We also have DeAndre Swift at running back now. And I would say I'm still in the progress of building up this defense. Obviously, we don't really have a great middle linebacker or right outside linebacker. Warner is a 79 star dev trait, which is solid. Tyrann Mathieu is down to a star dev trait at 93 overall. Marcus May is an 83. So we probably need some corners and maybe a defensive tackle, but we'll see how this season goes. And now let's simulate Season 3 as we use our third different starting quarterback. And we finished this season 5-12, the 25th ranked offense and the 23rd ranked defense. And it looks like Taekwon Boley got injured at one point this year because Jordan Love actually has a decent amount of stats. Boley finishes with 3,900 yards, 32 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. Running the ball, DeAndre Swift, 890 yards and 9 touchdowns. And receiving, Michael Thomas, 1,300 yards and 14 touchdowns. DJ Chark got 6, Chris Olave got 7, and Dawson Knox got 6. What about defense? Pete Warner led the team in tackles with 116, and in sacks, Yannick Ngakoue got 10. Albert only got 8 this year. And interceptions, Pete Warner led the team with 3. And Super Bowl 59 goes to the Dallas Cowboys, who defeat the Chiefs 49-35. And this offseason, we have $179 million in cap. And this team is going to look a lot different next season, most likely, because we are letting Tyrann Mathieu test free agency. I thought about offering him a contract, but he wants a ton of money. I tried to bring back Michael Thomas, but he didn't want to come back. I did land DJ Chark, though. Marcus May is starting to regress, and we are letting everyone else walk here. So I'm going to try to completely rebuild this team now in 2 seasons. And we won't be getting a new quarterback this offseason. Taekwon Boley is now a 78 overall superstar dev trait. And here are the 5 contracts I am throwing out. Free safety Tyrann Mathieu, wide receiver Elijah Moore, defensive back Carlton Davis, strong safety Marcus May, and right outside linebacker Pete Warner because he is the best right outside linebacker available. So let's see if we land any of these guys real fast. Go ahead and skip to the next part, and we get 4 of the 5. Who did we not get? It was Carlton Davis. He decided to sign with the Bears instead. And this time I've thrown out 4 new contracts. We're also going to try to land Mike Williams. I don't know if we'll get him. The Jets are also offering him a lot. We're trying to get Shaquille Griffin and Avonte Maddox. Maddox is not too interested in us, so we may have to up his offer a little bit. But also Jose Jewell. I have no idea how to say your name, and I apologize. And we land Mike Williams, Shaquille Griffin, and who else did we get? We also got Jose Jewell, if that's how you say his name. The only person left now is Avonte Maddox. And now we're just going to try to get defensive back Greedy Williams here, and let's see if he will sign with us. And did Greedy Williams sign? No, he did not. It looks like he signed with the Eagles. And we won't be trading up in this draft. Let's see who the Seahawks take with the first pick. They're going to take right outside linebacker Jay McFadden. Had I seen that the top pick was an outside linebacker, I might have considered trading up. And the Buccaneers with pick 2 are going to take wide receiver Trey Garland. And with the third pick, we're actually going to trade down with the Rams and pick up the 10th pick in this round and an additional second round pick. There were just no positional needs that I needed here. We need like linebackers and defensive tackles, and the top guy was a quarterback. There were like 3 receivers, so we'll see who the Rams take. They're going to take quarterback Courtney Day. And yes, we brought back right outside linebacker Pete Warner, but I think with the 10th pick here in this draft, I'm going to draft outside linebacker Kai Martin out of LSU. He has B block shedding, B pursuit, and A tackle. He is also the fastest right outside linebacker in his class, so we will take Kai Martin, and he has a hidden depth trait. And now here in the second round, we're going to take middle linebacker Andrew Gutierrez. I hope I said that name right. He has A zone, B tackle, and he is one of the fastest linebackers in his class as well. So we will take him, and he comes in with a hidden depth trait as well with 91 speed. And then with our second pick here in round 2, I'm looking at defensive tackle Jaquan Corbett out of Notre Dame. He has B power move and C block shedding, but he is also one of the strongest defensive tackles in his class. So we're going to draft him to see if we can put him on the other side of our other defensive tackle. He does come in with a normal depth trait though. And now let's take a look at this draft class. We got a 74 overall right outside linebacker, a 72 overall middle linebacker, a 73 overall defensive tackle. He does not come with a hidden depth trait like the other two though. A 65 overall center, a 69 overall defensive back, a 65 overall right end, and a 70 overall receiver in the 7th round. So the CPU did decent there. And here is the starting offense for Season 4. Obviously, Boley is still our quarterback. We've completely redone the wide receiver room, adding Elijah Moore and Mike Williams. It looks like Ramczyk is injured to start the year, though. He's only going to be gone for 1 week, so it looks like McPherson will get the start, even though he's only a 68 overall. On defense, we have a ton of star depth traits and 2 at least star depth traits with Martin and Gutierrez here starting at linebacker. But hopefully this defense plays a lot better than they have the last couple years. But now let's simulate Season 4 and see if we can get back to the playoffs, which is something we have not done since Season 1. And we finished this season 8-9, but we do get into the playoffs. We have the 10th best offense in points per game and the 25th defense, so obviously those rookies are still learning. But this season, Taekwon Boley throws for 4,800 yards, 40 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions. On the ground, DeAndre Swift ran for 15 touchdowns, and receiving, Elijah Moore 1,500 yards and 20 touchdowns. Chris Olave 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns, and Mike Williams 972 yards and 5 touchdowns. And on defense, what happened? Pete Warner once again led the team in tackles, even though he is now our left outside linebacker. What about sacks? Yannick Ngakoue got 18.5, and Ben Albert got 10.5. And interceptions, Pete Warner got 3, Shaquille Griffin got 3, and Tyrann Mathieu got 3. But sadly, once again, we get bounced in the wildcard round, this time 34-27 to Chicago. But if we're gonna lose, at least it's to the eventual Super Bowl champions, as the Bears beat the Dolphins in the Super Bowl 19-16. And I've now re-signed all the players that I planned to. We still have $111 million in cap space, and we're going to try to use as much as that as possible. Alright, and I have now used a ton of the cap like I said I wanted to, but I don't know if we will land Daron Payne. As you can tell, everybody is really apparently interested in Daron Payne. I am trying to get Carlton Davis again, and then Rob Havenstein. Yes, I know I have a right tackle in Ryan Ramczyk. I intend to move Havenstein over to the left side, so let's go ahead and skip past this. And did we get anybody? We got Carlton Davis and Havenstein. We did not land Daron Payne. And before I jump into the draft, I went ahead and I looked through the league, and I see that defensive tackle Kenny Clark has a player tag of a trade target for veterans. So let's see if we can get him from Green Bay. And we have to give up 2 first-round picks and a second, but we do get Kenny Clark, so we now have our defensive tackle. That's why I was trying to get Daron Payne, but he did not want to come here. And I'm not real sure why, but strong safety Donovan Edwards for the Lions has a trade target on him, even though the guy behind him, it says day 1 starter, but he's a 74 overall. And we were able to get Edwards from the Lions. Yes, he is not a scheme fit, but I still think he's going to be better than Marcus May at his current age. And so obviously with all the trades I've been doing, we did not have a pick in the first 4 rounds, let alone in the 3 that I actually drafted in. And the CPU took a 65 overall right guard, a 67 tight end, and a 64 right tackle. And here is the starting offense for our 5th and final season of this rebuild. Boley is going into his 3rd year. Elijah Moore is now an X-Factor receiver. DeAndre Swift is still an 88 overall. Mike Williams is an 89. Chris Olave is an 84. Dawson Knox is an 87. I still think this is a very, very good offense. And on defense, we obviously added a key piece in Kenny Clark, and we also traded for Edwards, so we don't have to start a 79 overall Marcus May. Granted, I would love to have some more scheme fits on this defense. I kind of regret not doing that throughout the entire rebuild. I did not realize that there weren't that many free agents that were going to fit this scheme. But anyway, now that we've gone all in on this season, you can see we are an 88 overall team. We have no draft picks for the future. They do have like $80 million in cap still, but there's really nowhere for me to spend it right now. So let's go ahead and simulate the 5th and final season and see if we can make a Super Bowl run. Well, that's a little unexpected. We finished 8-9 and completely missed the playoffs with an 89 overall team and a 91 overall offense. Our quarterback throws for 4,900 yards, 40 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. On the ground, DeAndre Swift ran for about 700 yards and 10 scores. And receiving, Elijah Moore, 1,200 yards and 13 touchdowns. Chris Olave had 13 touchdowns. And Mike Williams also went over 1,000 yards. What about on defense? Pete Warner once again led the team in tackles with 135. Ben Albert led the team in sacks with 15, and interceptions goes to Marshawn Lattimore with 5. And Super Bowl 61 goes to the Kansas City Chiefs. But that will wrap up this rebuild. Taekwon Bowley ends it as an 86 overall superstar X Factor. We failed to win a Super Bowl within 5 years. Hell, we failed to win a playoff game. Maybe I need to change up the playbooks I'm doing. I think the offensive playbook is still fine, but maybe I need to try something different with the defensive playbook. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you guys next time.